So, okay, hold on. Happy Friday. It is Matchmaker Diaries. I just rolled in. I literally have my lunch here. So we're going to be doing lunch together. I've been doing my lives on Fridays now. So kind of join me at the end of the week, kind of a recap of everything I've been dealing with clients, with, non-clients, non-paying clients. Really, I'm going to break down 3 things today. And I did just do a podcast on dating with dogs. Did anybody listen? You got to meet my dog, my old dog who passed away. Happy Friday. Whoop, whoop. By the way, where are you coming in from today? And then who has a date tonight? Who has a date this weekend? We've got to talk about these things because I need you to get a second date. There's my girl, Erica. Love working with her. She is a blessing. So guys, the 3 things we're going to talk about today, we're not going to really, Erica tells you how it is. Don't get a dog. I'm not going to talk much about that podcast. It was just more of a fun podcast, but literally don't get a dog. If you're like, should I get a man or a dog? Keep going for the man. Oh my gosh, Europe, that's amazing. All you single ladies, you're just like my people. I get it. I feel your heart. So the 3 things I want to talk about. Oh my gosh, I changed your life. Yay. I love it. How are you and the kiddos, by the way? Did you find a woman? Because we didn't like that last woman. I didn't think she was good for you. I literally love my clients. You guys know it's for me. It's Follower Friday. I pray for you guys. I want you to have amazing, successful, quality relationships. You've seen it. I got it. I'm so excited about it. So anyways, the 3 topics we're going over today. So I want you to stick around. Not yet. That's why you need to hire me. I know women that you will never meet, right? So the 3 topics today, we are talking about matchmaking. Is it a scam? Okay. So I've had quite a few things this week. I've reached out to some people, and I'm going to share about that. I've had a client who's like, this is a scam. So I want to talk about the matchmaking process, what it looks like, what other companies do, why it differs. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about, this is the big one. You all need to stick around for this, feedback. I get so much feedback for my clients and even the daters that they go on. It goes both ways, right? So clients give me feedback on their dates and the dates give me feedback on my clients. And it is so important that you really love it. Thank you. Invite me on your podcast. I'm starting to come to a point where I'm going to have people on my podcast as well. But I'm going to start with my matchmaking team because I'm telling you, we are full of information for you guys. So feedback, and I'm going to share a bunch of feedback from this week. And it's going to be really relevant. It's going to be really helpful. So stick for that. And then the 3rd thing we're going to talk about today is the ick factor. I'm doing another TV segment for ABC, Good Morning Show Dallas. And they want to know, like, what is it after you've been dating for quite a while? Let's say you've been dating 3 dates, you're at the 3-week mark, maybe you're even at the 3-month mark. And that person does this like one thing and you're like, ish. Oh my goodness, when is the next singles trip? I was just talking about the Dating with Katy in Mexico singles trip. Here's the deal. Okay, because I need a Mexico trip. I need some tan on my skin and not like from the can because I am a huge can tanner. But I have thought about doing a Dating with Katy trip again to Mexico, all inclusive, the same thing. Like I'm going to be there. Y'all can just come. Like it's not even a benefit to me. It's just, I'm not getting a free trip out of it. It's just the fact that, I like meeting you. I want you all to meet each other. Doesn't mean it's going to be marriages from that, but we had a blast on the last Dating with Katy trip, and it was really random. I had just invited people. We had about Hawaii is too far. No, Cabo. We will do Cabo. I think we did Cancun last time. Cabo is good. It's a little bit 2 hours, from everybody. Oh, it could be far. Anyways, the beauty of the Dating with Katy trip last time, literally nobody knew each other. I had 4 random guys. And now they're all buddies. And it's so cute. We all follow each other. They all have girlfriends now. I mean, it's really great. Some of the gals that were on me, they're still single, but that's okay. They're actually really great friends of mine. So we just became friends. And it's, nobody hooked up. And if there was one hookup, but whatever. Like we're all adults. It's not a big deal. But it was just a great time to hang out and get to know other singles and just lay out and just, I know a lot of you don't have friends to travel with or your friends are boring. Like there's a lot of boring people out there. You guys know how I feel about that. But let me think on that for the Dating with Katy trip. Okay. So let's move on. Let's talk about matchmaking. I want to share a little bit about the process. We try to our company, Cinqe, Cinque.com, our website is phenomenal. It answers every question you have, but here's the truth, none of you ever read it, okay? None of you ever read it. For the age range of the last trip, it was like 30. There was a girl who was 35. And then I think like 55 was the oldest guy. Like, it's who cares? Like, I'm not getting 20-year-olds. So sorry, I wouldn't even want a 20-year-old on that trip. Like, I'm not taking responsibility for that. I don't care if you're 65. The point is, are you fun? And anyone who's got the balls to like come on a trip and not know anybody, or at least bring a friend, you're fun. Okay. Plus, we're in a fun place. Like, if you're really not that fun, then you got a lot to work on. So the thing with matchmaking, you guys, you have to kind of think a little bit bigger. There's two things. The first thing is this. We have clients. A client, oh my gosh, love is blind. Yeah. Love is blind, Katy style. Well, the truth is, and we'll talk about that in feedback, love is not blind. Love is very visual. Okay. So we'll talk about that in feedback coming up. So you guys, what are your questions about matchmaking? I want to answer those right now. We have clients who pay us. And yes, we are not a cheap company. There are plenty of other low-priced companies. And I'm going to tell you, you get what you pay for. I lived in China 7 years, and we had a saying, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, okay? I'm not saying that the lower budgeted ones are terrible. But what I am saying is that you will have a different kind of service. So for example, a lot of the lower budget ones, everything is blind matchmaking. Never, ever, ever, ever pay for that. Ask your friends to put you up on blind dates, but never pay a matchmaker for a blind date. That is the most lazy kind of matchmaking there is. Like, that's the Love is Blind, because you've all seen the show, right? Like, oh, you guys should like each other for your insides. And then they like see the visual and they're like, oh my gosh, like, yikes. That's not anything I want to like keep the lights on with, right? You want to keep the lights on with somebody that you really dig. So never pay for blind matchmaking. Never help a matchmaker who's doing blind matchmaking. You don't owe anybody. I know some of you are in free databases and they're like, oh, it's a blind date, but he's really great. I've done that. Baloney. Like, you show up, you're like, he's short, he's stuttering, no. And guys, you know me, I'm always about being open and like, you just never know, but blind matchmaking is baloney. So a lot of cheaper companies do that. A lot of cheaper companies also say like, well, you can have 3 dates for $6,500. I just called a girl to put her on a date. And she's like, oh, I'm paying my own company. I get 3 dates for $6,500. I say, you crazy, girl. That's a lot of money for just 3 dates. For 3 dates. Okay. So my company, we do unlimited. You can have as many dates as you want, but you can also say no to every single date I send you. But that's on you, because I did my job. So that's another reason why I love my company. We always show pictures both ways. It's super important to me that I'm not just putting you on a date. I could put all y'all on dates all day long. Doesn't mean it's a right fit. And as a matter of fact, I reached out to a girl yesterday, and she's like, I didn't have a good experience with matchmakers. It was like they were just putting me on a date with some like fat rich guy because, and it didn't mean anything to me, which is what matchmakers do. Like, non-quality matchmakers will do that because they got to get hot girls for these guys. Okay. I don't do that. It is inherent in me that I could not do that. It goes against my bones. Like, I want to create relationships, and you need to have a matchmaker. And I've dated for matchmakers way back in my day. And I would ask the question, well, why do you think they're a good fit for me? So if a matchmaker ever reaches out, she should have answers. She should have looked over your bio. I always listen first. I don't even tell them about my client. I listen and hear about the girl who I'm going to set on a date to make sure she really is a fit for my client, So sign me up. I love it. Linz, actually, I do have a guy for you. He just signed. He's got to get to California though to meet you. But yes, girl, I'm on top of it because you have great photos and your bio is great. And I've called you and I've talked to you and you're like quality peeps. So if you're ever working with a matchmaker and you don't feel like they're doing that, you can DM me, you can email me. I'm happy to work with you. I can't guarantee I can get your money back, but I can explain to you why they do it this way. Some of you have signed a contract with them. I mean, I had a woman, she's like, Katy, this is the worst thing ever. I said, I know, but you signed the contract. Like, you accepted the fact that these were all going to be blind dates and you didn't have a choice in it. So be very mindful. If you have any questions, ask me. You know me, I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to give it to you straight. So please, it's not a scam. I had a client the other day. He's like, You haven't found me anybody. I want a girl who will just do what I say. And I'm like, whoa, bro, like this is not okay. And he's like, I want a 25-year-old who will just kind of do what I say. This is what it's going to happen. She's going to this and that. And I'm like, okay, that is not, unless I go to Podunkville and find some girl who's like, hi, like you also live in LA and these women are sophisticated and they're beautiful and that's what you want, but then you're telling me you want some girl who just obey you and like do whatever you say. They're not going to stick around. So again, he's like, well, you're scamming me and you're just putting me on dates with girls. First off, I've never paid anybody. I would never. They have to both say yes. Okay. Both teams have to say yes to the date. So my job is to bring you quality women. And here is the biggest issue. They are not 5 miles away from you. Because if they were, you probably should have met them by now. I have to say this over and over and over again. And I need to say this also, that all of us matchmakers, if you hear our stories, we've all moved for our men. You guys are some of you are stuck. You can never move. You have children. You're doing split custody. You can't move. That's fine. But I'm talking to you 30-year-old girls. I'm talking to you singles that have nothing that ties you down. Yes, you have a job, but you can get a job somewhere else. Because if you were to meet an amazing man, and I talk about this in my Dating with Dogs, the story about the girl who has the farm, or does she want the family? Well, what do you want? So she picked the farm. She could have had America's Hottest Bachelor, but she didn't want to let go of the farm. Ladies, you cannot have everything you want. Okay. If you have a hardworking guy who's willing to put in the time and effort and you have to move. Because I don't want you calling me when you're 42 and crying. Oh, all I hear from these 42-year-old women, and chime in if you're on and you're like, yeah, Katy, you're right. They wish they had focused more when they were 35. Heck, 32. Get smart, girls. I called a million women this week for a client. So many of them are like, well, I wouldn't move. You haven't even met the guy. What if you freaking adored him? One of the girls, she just worked at like a country club. Okay. Like there's country clubs everywhere. You can get a job somewhere else. She won't even go on a date. Like it's 2 hours of your time. This kind of mentality has to shift if you guys want to be successful in dating. Is that simple. Mentalities need to shift. You must be open. And if a matchmaker calls you and asks you to go on a date, ladies, go on the date. Be a good, we take notes. If like you're always refusing because you don't like this, you don't like that about these guys, well, we're going to stop asking you. If I call you, it's because I actually read your bio and what you're looking for, and my client meets those things. So for example, right? I'm telling you, it's insane. I'm starting to get frustrated with these 30-year-old girls. I'm like, boom, 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 stay single. That's fine. Stay single. But this guy, new client, he's fabulous. He really wants to have a family and kids. He can absolutely, if he can afford me, he can afford a home. He's got a home. He's got a ranch. It's like, he's so cool. And these girls are just like, I don't want to give up my career. Woo! I didn't ask you to give up your career. I asked you to go on a date. I didn't ask you to decide your life. Just go on a date. You want a man who's going to love you, wants a family. You're 37. Girl, you ain't getting any younger. No man wants a girl who has to do IVF. I'm just telling you straight. There is no guy in my database that's like, yeah, I want to date a 42-year-old who's stressed out and wants to do IVF with me. No. So get smart at 37, get smarter at 32, and start looking for the quality guys because there's less and less of them. So that's my little binge right there. I do a great job of really sourcing out quality connections. Okay, guys? So I'm going to give you an example. I just signed this client, and he is coming to town for his photos because you know me, I take some good pictures of men. And these are all the women in 1 week that I have reached out to for him. Okay? You see that? You see all of these women in 1 week. Those are all the women in just Dallas that I've reached out to. Okay. Now, some moved, some are in relationships. So, there's probably 15. Some are a little too bougie for him. Like he needs a little bit, like I have one, she's really bougie and she's too bougie for him. And she said no. One, let's see what else. Two are out of town. One had to update her profile when she put in the new photos. I did not like them. And I was like, okay, that's not a good fit for him. So I had to like kind of renege on that. But do you understand? Like this is just like swiping. It's a numbers game. But at the same time, I am connecting. He's a Christian. I only choose Christian for him. Okay. If you're spiritual, that does not mean you're Christian. So I will not do that. That is not what my client's looking for. But anyways, It is a lot of work. Now I've got girls that I need to call. I need to call back. I need to, and one of them, she's like, I worked with a matchmaker and she just put me on with those like fat rich guys. And I'm like, well, he's not fat, but he is rich and he's thin and you're going to see his picture. And all I'm asking is that you meet him for 2 hours. You can have a drink, you can have a dinner. I don't really care what you want to do. I mean, you know how I feel about coffee, but no. So guys, that's matchmaking in a nutshell. Good matchmaking looks differently and is more flexible, with meaning they want good on both sides. Okay, let's go into feedback, date feedback. How many of you ever get like date feedback? Like you literally will say, hey, I know it didn't work out with us, but can you give me any feedback? Have any of you ever done that? And I'm hungry. I went to North Italia last night. I love North Italia. Any North Italia is always fun, consistently good food, and really the bar is always, I always meet great people at the bar. I met Lindsay in Houston the other night, single, divorced, gained a lot of weight. I prayed with her. I was like, girl, I believe better for you. Let's get your health in order, right? One of the 4 foundations. Podcast 2. Let's get your health in order. Let's get you healthy and happy again. Like you are worth it. Did a little pep talk with Lindsay in Houston. I hope you're watching because I believe great things for her. I believe great things for you guys. So you've asked for feedback. Look at you, girl. I love it. Like that's how we date like adults. This is how we grow. Well, I have 2 kinds of clients. He said he didn't think it was interested, which I wasn't yet, but I would have seen him again. Wait, he said he didn't think you were interested in him because you weren't, but you would have seen him again. I'm confused. Why, if you're not interested in somebody, why would you see them again? Although I do believe in the 3-date rule, right? I asked and received it. Will not be a right fit since I'm a single mom with, 1 child. I think him and accepted it. I mean, some people, here's the truth of that. I mean, for the most part, they're like, I don't want to date women with kids. And then they go on a date with you because they think you're pretty and they like you're cool. And it could change his mind. There are men who are like, no, I changed my mind. She's amazing. I want in. But then sometimes they're like, no, it's really not a right fit. She's amazing. She's cool, but I don't want the limitations that she has. And guys, dating with limitations, it's a podcast in itself. Like, whether you have no money, you're too busy with your kids. I mean, I got clients, I got women that I'm just like trying to track down. And I'm like, forget it. You're too hard to find, woman. And like my man doesn't need that. My clients don't need that. Now you're saying that you didn't know if you liked him. Well, here's the deal, guys, men. Women have so many options these days. Am I right? Women have all the options. And you got to show up on a first date and own it. You've got to bring your A game. A game. My client thought he was doing his A game. I was like, bro, why are you chewing gum on a first date? I mean, until the wine showed up, he was chewing gum. I'm like, where did you put the wine? Did you put your gum in the wine? Like, why are you chewing gum on a first date? He said, oh, I didn't want bad breath. Okay, well, then brush your teeth and use those stickies that go to the roof of your mouth. Do not chew gum on a first date. But he says to me, my client, and this is feedback, he says, Katy, but she should just like me no matter what. Guess what? You can't get a second date. I got you a first date. You can't get a second date. And you're not willing to listen to me because she should just accept me no matter what. First dates, you don't show every side of you, right? You talked about poop on the date. You don't talk about poop on a date. That's like a little down the road. Like show your best side. Just like a job interview, you got to show your best side. And women, I'm always teaching women, give a guy 3 dates. If he was cool, but you're not totally sure yet, give him another date because guys are usually nervous. But if a guy doesn't feel that vibe from you, if you are not in any way flirting or kind of saying like, yeah, I would go on a second date with you, like say it. Ladies, say it so that men know that you would do it, right? So maybe that was your fault too, because you were just a little off-putting. You were a little bit like this, a little bit like this. You weren't being vulnerable. So he can't read you. And every woman is so different. So make yourself readable, right? Like my husband, people cannot read him, right? Sometimes I'm like, hello, like he's very, I don't know. I've met women like this who are beautiful, but they're very, what I call flat. They're just flat. There's like no enthusiasm, no energy, and men don't like that. I mean, I don't like it when my husband's like this. I'm like, what are you thinking? What is the energy here? I have this thing I say to him sometimes. I'm like, I need an enthusiastic yes. Like I said, let's take out the cool car this weekend. He's like, sure. I'm like, no, like, yeah, let's do that. Like I wanted him to be excited for the idea. He's got this great car and he never uses it. I'm like, use the car. Either that or I'm gonna sell it one day and take the money and run. But Not that I would ever do that. Okay, let me keep reading these. Had the most amazing connection with a separated guy. I'm divorced. We have a 6-year age difference. That's fine. Then he pulled away, and I found out that he'd started seeing a girl 30 years younger. What is that? Insecurity? Yeah, that's called he's going to get his wiggles out. Heck yeah, like that's pretty normal. And then he'll get over it because he'll realize these girls don't even know who like the Rolling Stones are. But girl, just let it go. He obviously needs to do what he needs to do, and that's fine. Like he'll come back to older women. As a matter of fact, the irony is these younger guys want older women. So is it insecurity? Sure. Is it ego? Yeah. Is he serving God? No. I mean, like, let's be honest. I believe in a 10-year gap. I've dated guys in the 20-year gap. Really great podcast. The old guy, the rich guy, and the nice guy. Go listen to that. It's like in the 30s. But you let that stuff go. Let it go. Like he's an 80%er. He's going to go do that. No surprise. I owned being proud of being a mom. Yes. You just have to keep dating, guys. It's just not going to be fabulous. Does he care that she's only in it for the money? I'm not sure what's the question on that. Who's only in it for the money? I'm not sure where this question's going. So let me talk about a couple feedbacks I got this week with clients. So I told you about the chewing gum one. A lot of you voted on that and you're like, it's no big deal. Wrong. Chewing gum is a no-go. Okay. It's rude. It's immature. It's not sophisticated. And I'm going to tell you, sophistication sells. Sophistication on both sides. Sophisticated men, sophisticated women. That is what people are looking for. Yeah, they're looking for fun too. But if you show up sophisticated, that is a win. And chewing gum is 100% tacky. I was a little disappointed that my followers, I think it was like 60% said it was no big deal. I'm like, I'm going to get one of those buzzers, stupid. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little discouraged in this job. The 30-year age difference, whatever. I dated a guy 20 years age difference, Men need to wake up. Everyone has a reason for finding love. Men need a partner and women would love to have stability. Men need to stop calling this gold digging. We don't know. We don't know the story. So let's like not even worry about it, right? Gold digging. I do a whole podcast on gold digging. How do you know if she's a gold digger? Okay. Just because a woman wants a man who's financially stable, here's the deal. She should pay her own bills. If she cannot pay her own bills, I'd be very leery. And if she's deeply in credit card debt, she doesn't respect and value finances. She makes bad decisions. Like, look, I was poor and broke, but I was never in debt. I've never missed a credit card payment because if I can't afford it, I don't buy it. And if I need more money, I'll go make it. That's how that's an equal in your finances that you need. But let's get back to first impressions. So chewing gum, no, you guys, no chewing gum. He also talked about like poop and stuff like this. No, it's not fun. He's like, I thought it was funny. No, we don't care that your dog had diarrhea on a first date and in the first 15 minutes. Stop it. Who wants to hear that? No female ever wants to hear that. Like stop. Just you're ruining. Again, I get you the first date, get a second. Okay, first impressions. I'm going to give you another story of a client. Love him. He's highly energetic. He really wants love. He lives in Florida. Okay. Floridians dress a little different. They're not real. There's a certain style in Florida that I do not love. It's not sophisticated. Like that Lily Pulitzer clothing. Okay. Nobody should be wearing neon pink in their 60s, like with a blend of neon yellow and green. And it's just not cute. I get it. My aunt lives there now. She's wearing that stuff. Fine. But if you are a stylish, sophisticated date, you show up looking like that. And you already know for guys what they should be wearing. Dark blue jeans, crisp white shirt, blue blazer. Okay, you're in Florida. It's hot. You can recreate that. Some nice cream slacks, tan slacks, a white short shirt with a lighter blazer. You can recreate that same outfit. So he went, all right, I'm going to give you the full storyline. He is my coaching client. I am currently on Hinge for him. Okay. I'm pretending I'm him on Hinge, which is slightly lying, but it's just, we're being creative in how he does it. He doesn't like the stress of like swiping and chatting. So I'm swiping and chatting. He says, Katy, I have 2 tickets to the ballet tonight. And I'm like, okay, well, what are you looking for? A miracle here? But I did. I went straight into Hinge and I was like, hey, would you be up for, hitting the ballet with me tonight? I said it to a couple ladies and one lady took it and she was awesome. She's, like what happens is she's like, yeah, I'd be up for it. And then I said on Hinge, being him, hey, would you mind like give me your number and I'll send you the details. He takes it from there. He meets her at the ballet. They take a picture together. She looks smoking hot. She's in like a little Hervé Laguerre dress, very appropriate, a little tight for the ballet, but still looking smoking hot. Nice heels. Her hair is down, looks very pretty. She's in her 50s. She looks smoking hot. I can tell you she's like an 8.59, right? She is in that world. She definitely has options. My client, and I love him, and he knows this. He knows how to dress well, but he dresses a little Floridian flamboyant, which causes danger because it makes you look gay. I know some of you like those funky shirts with the flowers and that you gotta be very careful because you look gay. Some of you are wearing like those bracelets that are all colored and like matching and pastels. You look gay. And women don't like that energy. They want that masculine, sophisticated rip from Yellowstone, like just that well-dressed energy. So he shows up to the ballet, and I was like, later he sent me the picture and I was like, what is this outfit? I love you, and I know you dress better than this. He wore, I think he wore like slacks, which were fine, but he wears this white puffer vest like this. And I said, you look like you're golfing. This is not a ballet outfit. Shame on you. Like, what were you doing? And typically I do not do any date feedback unless I have matchmaking clients, because that's part of the program. You get an email, date feedback after the date. But with this client, she never really responded during the week to go for the second date. They had a great first date at the ballet. Then they went out afterwards and guys were fist bumping him. Like, she's hot, good job. And he totally, they held hands. I think they did a little smoochy smooch. So he was really excited. Then he wanted to take her out later the following weekend, and it fizzled. So he's like, Katy, what did I do? I said, give me her phone number. I will call her for you. I don't typically do that for coaching clients. But I said, I will call her and let's get to the nitty gritty of this. So I called her yesterday, and bless her heart, she was amazing. The way people dress is not about wealth, but more about an expression of character. Correct. It also is about style, and do you have it, right? I mean, I could go. I was just watching Grant Cardone's wife. She's amazing. She's like, get one pair of nice heels and then shop at TJ Maxx. Like, you can look hot at TJ Maxx. Speaking of which, ladies, would you like me to do like, since I have my new closet, do you guys want me to do summer outfits, spring outfits to wear for date nights? Yes, no, spring date night outfits. Maybe I'll do a little Amazon shopping, see if you guys can find some cute outfits, and I can do a little thing in my closet. Because how you show up so matters. Here's why. I got the feedback from this woman who totally was cool about my call. I'm like, hey, random, but I'm a matchmaker. You went on a date with my client. Okay, yes, I'll do it. I just got to actually take a shower and do my hair and makeup. Right? But I will. I have date night with hubby tonight, so hair and makeup will be done. I should just get a wig for that kind of stuff and be like, hey, here's Katy. So she and I are chatting, and I was like, I just want to know some feedback on my client, like what went wrong. So number one, we talk about his texting methods, which I'll share in a minute. Second thing, do some wish list Amazon. Yes. For men, I have a whole shopping cart. You guys already, for men and women, I have a whole shopping cart on Amazon. Go to my link in my bio. Clothing, there is clothing on that. One of my clients bought the pair of shoes that is in the shopping cart, and he's like, the best, Katy. These are the best in the men's section. Some Chelsea boots. I didn't even know I had them in there. He's like, these were so great. Thank you. And I'm like, oh, pocket squares are in there, cheap pocket squares. Nobody's going to know. Just get the cheap pocket squares. So you get like 20 pocket squares for $20 from China. I mean, I always go to Nordstrom's and I buy this one pocket square. It's like $50 for my clients. But anyways, so she proceeds to tell me about his outfit at the ballet. And again, she's like, this outfit was terrible, Katy. And I'm like, I know it was. And he did not concur with me before. So it's, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and how you show up matters. I say this time and time again. I have lots of friends. I have a friend down in the Caribbean. She's like, is this outfit too much, Katy? I'm at a wedding weekend. I am happy to give you my opinion. It's my opinion. And it's my advice. I worked in fashion for a long time, and it's, there's good, better, best. Like, what is the best way we can style this outfit? So that was it. She was really unimpressed by his outfit. And then after he thought about it, he's like, yeah, I shouldn't have worn that. And lesson learned, but he can't go back. He can't get a second date with her now because he messed up on the first date. The other thing she said, and this is feedback, and it's a little hard to hear, but because women are very different, and guys, I want you to chime in on this. When a woman is upset about your texting style, okay, here's the problem. Ladies, let me just preface this. Guys don't know your texting style. Some of you like lots of texts throughout the day. Some of you are too busy and you get annoyed by this, right? So these guys are like, how often should I be texting? Here's the main thing though. Guys, always err on the side of these two things. Number one, always make this a daily habit. Make this a habit in your dating life. Number one, always say, text me when you get home. You should be saying that to your friends. Maybe guy, not guy to guy, but like girlfriend to girlfriend. Hey girl, text me when you get home. My daughter, my stepdaughter, my husband's daughter. I hate that word stepdaughter, but my husband's daughter and I hung out last night. We bought a guy a beer. We sent it to him. And all of you people voted. Guys are like, dude, I love it when a girl buys me a beer, sends me a drink. And also my girlfriend's getting married because that's how she met her guy. So I always say to my girlfriends, text me when you get home, text me when you get home, text me when you get home. Guys, if you don't say that, right? Ladies, am I right? If a man doesn't say, text me when you get home, it is hard to think that he's a good guy. And you know, I'm all for the good guy. Guys, make this your daily dating habit. Always say, text me when you get home. First, second, third, 17th date, all the time. All the time. The second thing every man should be doing in dating, and this is debatable, but I'm sorry, all the people who follow me, there's not a single woman out there who will disagree with me. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care. Maybe the 20-year-olds don't agree, but every one of you want this conservative value, this what I call old school. Every woman wants the man to text first in the morning. Is that correct, ladies? We want to know that, hey, Shelly girl, I miss you. Come back to Texas. We want to know that you were thinking of us and you woke up thinking of us and you texted me. I do not want to be the first person who says, good morning. So with this little combo of this, date night at the ballet, Monday morning comes around. My client does not text her, does not check in. Although they had some text banter on Sunday, he did not send the good morning text. The good morning text is everything, guys. Everything. And so she sends him a text at 9:30, 10. Good morning, have a good day. And just even good morning, have a good day. The tone of that is like she's annoyed. She's annoyed. She's doing it out of politeness, but then he doesn't respond because he's busy at work. Here we go. That killed the whole thing. A great date night can be killed from one little missing good morning text, right? It is imperative not only that, guys, you send that good morning text, and I will tell you this, my husband, I never text him good morning, ever. If he don't text me good morning, he's in trouble. And he knows because he will always be pursuing me. That is our little thing. It's like, I'm not pursuing you. Yeah, I can check in on him. Like if there's a morning when he's traveling and he doesn't text, that means he's crazy busy. But he not only texts me good morning every morning, he makes me a little video. This is when he's traveling now because we're married. But he also calls me every single morning. When he is traveling, that man, I don't know where he finds the time because he is busy. He calls me. And there are times that I don't pick up. I'm at Bible study or I'm over here. And sure enough, he calls me again. That is what women want. Women want. So I don't know if you guys are missing the memo on this, or are women telling you, oh, it's too much, I don't like it. And of course, don't do what my husband does because we're married. So that's the big thing, guys. I mean, how simple is that? You would think these were like kind of known dating guidelines, but people aren't doing them, and you're not getting second dates because of it. You're just not. All right, I got to read some of these. Yeah, it tells you so much about their chivalry. Bring it back, guys. I know you want to. My clients want to. My followers want to. But if you're not, ladies, and you got to guide them, you could say something like, just by the way, I love a good morning text. And if he's sending you gifts and you hate the gifts, just be like, I love a good morning text, but the gifts are not my thing. Or I have a girlfriend. She loves to talk on the phone. She's like, these guys keep texting me. Well, yeah, who cares? So, but the thing is, tell him, say, hey, the texting thing doesn't work for me, but if you ever want to call me once a day or call me every other day, ladies, give some guidance. Guys, don't read your mind. And these women it's confusing. But nonetheless, guys, rise up. I'd rather you overdo it than underdo it, right? And ask her, hey, I love sending good morning texts. Do you like it? get it clarified, right? It's polite and it shows your protective side. It's so cute. Few days a week and make her miss me. No, like what is that? Make her miss me? Like I don't know. What is this a game? That sounds like a game-ish. Like I'm gonna make you miss me. Well, if she likes you, she'll miss you. But like making her miss you doesn't mean she likes you. It just means you're playing a game with her. So that's not. I don't think that's really a good idea. How can a woman tell the difference between a player and an emotionally unavailable man? Well, they're both bad, so just skip them both. Katie, if we think someone's profile on this live blog is hot, is it cool we hit on them? Well, I know you. I don't know them, but just always be polite, date like an adult, and I'll tell you whoever the girl is. If this person does anything that is no bueno, you just call me, girl. You just DM me, and I will put him straight. There you go. He finds time because he makes the time. Correct. So here's the thing. When she texted him at, let's say it was 10:30 a.m., and then he didn't text because he was so busy, he's not that busy. You can sit on the toilet and send a 30-second text. You're never that busy. If you are starting a relationship and if the mojo's good, respond to a text immediately. Okay. And here's what happens. Some of you open the text, don't respond. Just respond with anything, a thumbs up, a thank you. You too, cutie. You've got to be better at communicating. Of course, this woman is like a communications expert, so she didn't like that too. So, I mean, it was like just shooting himself in the foot here. Okay, let me see where else we going with this. I love when you do XYZ and he'll do it forever. Yeah. Like instead of saying you never do this for me, baby, I love it when you, even if he's not doing it, ladies, I think this is great, Anna. Even if he's not doing it, you start saying, man, I just love it when you light all the candles in the house. Like my husband's terrible at it. And I've said it, I'm like, listen to my podcast, bro. But when he does, I make it a big deal. Like, oh my God, you lit a candle. Sometimes I'm like, light two more, but we're working on it. But men, just like puppies, are reinforced with the positive. When you keep hitting a puppy or yelling at a puppy, what do puppies do? They cower. Okay. And yes, men are like puppies. I'm sorry. I've said it before. Don't take it personally, but they just want to please you. And that's a good thing. Puppies just want to please you, right? So if she likes you, you don't have to make her miss you. Boom. See, you gave some good feedback to that guy. I do text him back immediately. Always text back immediately. You are hot. Oh, you're already, that's not for me. You're hitting on somebody. I do tell like it is. All right. So a couple more feedback ones. I was just kind of looking through these. Okay. I did have a client go on a date recently and we got date feedback and she's like, it would have been nice to be picked up on a first date. First off, we never do that as a company. Liability wise, if you got in a car crash with him, I mean, you could say it's our fault, state of California, you can sue for anything. So that's never a good idea. And I don't believe that on a first date. You just don't know the person enough to really like get in their car. You can, but always have your tracking on, have a girlfriend tracking you. I don't think it's a good idea. So thanks for the feedback, but we're the professionals. So no, that wasn't a good idea. And then let me tell you about an amazing date my client went on. So he is down in Miami and he's got 2 dates down there. And this one lady, she's the one I posted. She's looking hot in her outfit. She's got her little like YSL purse and, her knee-high boots. Like she's smoking hot. She's 59. She's smoking hot. Not only she's smoking hot, she's amazing. Like I had a chat with her. I was like, girl, we could hang out. Like she was just high energy, positive. She brought it. She brought it to the table. And I don't get that a lot. I know a lot of great girls, but it's that rare woman who brings it. Like there's a lot of great women, but then there's like the bring it girl. So anyways, he's a Midwestern guy. He goes on a date with her. And now Miami, if y'all been to Miami, you gotta gotta be in the know, right? Showing up at all these restaurants, like you gotta own it. Some of you aren't quite as confident in those spaces. My client's from Michigan. He's not like a real like LA, Miami vibe guy. So ironically, yeah, she looked smoking hot in that outfit, didn't she? I love it. Look at you guys all just sharing what to do, helping them out. So we'll buy us all a drink somehow, like send some Venmo and we can all have a drink, right? Instead of just buying her a drink, buy everybody a drink. So they go on this date and it's at the Addition, which I've told you this before. My house smells like the Addition. I'm telling you, the Aroma 360 is the best thing ever. I mean, my daughter-in-law, my Stepdaughter walks into the house. She's like, your house smells so good. It's the Aroma 360. And it smells like the Addition. And the Addition's kind of mellow. So I thought it'd be a good place for a date. They go to the Addition, and here's my 59-year-old hottie. She's like, hey, let's go to the Faena and go to the club. Now, these are like two almost 6-year-olds out in Miami. Of course, my Midwest guy's like, what's the Faena? Which is hot. It's a hot spot. I would never put him on a date there because it might have been too much for him. So sure enough, I don't know how she did it, but she got them right in. They went past the line, right? That's the best, right? When people can just move you past the line. I don't care if you got to give them 100. We're all too old to be waiting in line. Okay. So if you're on a date and your date is making you wait in a line, bro, you got to slip a 50, 100 or something like that. But I'm too old to wait in line in my high heels. Like, no, I look hot. I'm not waiting in line. So, okay. I don't know. The whole love thing, that's a little deep for today. So they get in the club, and he's like mesmerized by the fact, he's like, she tells me this later, he's making a video of like them walking in the club. He's like, I've only seen this in movies. But what was so cute is that her feedback said, I like that he's not Mr. Bougie Pants. I like that he's not Mr. like, I'm gonna get you in the club, because those guys get all those girls in the club. And that was her role. Like, she was the fun girl. Like, in My Husband and I'm the fun one. I'm just fun. But my husband, here's the win. He's not Mr. Fun. He is Mr. Focus, make money, do extremely well in that area. So I bring the fun. Ladies, you have to understand, sometimes you are the one who brings the fun. And that's okay. Like, you're like, I want a man who's just like so fun. No, you don't. You want a man who works really hard, has good character, has good values. You can bring the fun. What you want is a man who's willing to do your fun. And that is really important. So I love that my client was willing. He was like, yeah, let's go. Like, they had a 7-hour date. And now I have to tell you, he now has 4 women to choose from. And he's like, Katy, I said, yeah, you got dating mojo right now. Like, when it's hot, it's hot. And he's like, yeah, I just want one. Like, this is almost overwhelming now, but that's my job, is to give you options. And then as an adult, if of those 4, 3 are not the ones, I will tell them and say, he's not having sex with any of them. He's probably not even kissing them yet. He's very old school. But that's the idea, is that we can actually be doing that and then say, hey, it's not the right fit. We've had a few couple dates. He thought you were great, but I'll keep you in mind for other guys, So yeah, I just wanted to share that little fun date. But then her feedback came, and she said, Katy, he hasn't really planned a second date. Guys. First date's going great. Right away, you're like, hey, let's plan a second date. Like, you've got to move. These women have options. Hot women have options. And if you are not moving and you are not pursuing her, she's going to option out. Am I right, ladies? We will option out. Okay. My pet peeve is when men who make plans but don't confirm the day of. Oh, it's so tacky. All of our clients have to confirm like the day before or 2 days before. Always confirm. I just did a podcast on like 10 things. It's like literally podcast 84. 10 things so you can win on a first date. And they're all based on business principles. Like, people who are really good at business confirm. Like, I had a call with a potential client Wednesday morning. Hey, Eric, looking forward to chatting with you today at 2:00. Business, it's a business win, but it's also a relationship win because it's good communication. So I agree with you. I won't be available that night. It happened to me, and I told the guy I won't be available that night. He then texted me at 8 p.m. that he was looking forward. I don't know. But yeah, the point is, yes, I 100% agree. Why didn't he reach out to set a time earlier in the day? Like, yeah, come on, you guys. Then you have to remember, they're an 80%er. If our minds just automatically go, oh, no surprise, 80%er. He's either got another woman, he's either got multiple women, he's maybe married. I mean, those 80%ers, you guys, the list could go on and on. So he's not cool, he's not quality, and he's not ready. Those are the 20%ers. You want the guy to be intentional, and yes, be intentional, pursue women. I mean, my clients have done a good job. I tell them the truth on these things. They take it. I have one client who's not taking it right now. And he's like, well, these girls should. And I don't know. It's like, okay, they should, but they're not. So, all right, let's move on. We're going to be closing up in a little bit. I am doing a TV segment, and I want you guys to type it in. What are some ish factors? Like, you've been dating someone, you thought they were great, you were thinking it could go well, and then they did what? Like, I mean, chewing gum on a first date, I probably wouldn't get a second date with that person. I'd be like, no, that's an ish factor. But I'm talking more like you've been dating and then you see something, or maybe they yell at their kids and you're like, whoa, okay. Of course, on the first 3 dates, you didn't see that. I mean, obviously, if they ghost you, that's ish. But I'm talking about like something you see them do, right? And ghosting is just 80% behavior. Those 80% are just ghost. Okay. I do say the only time you can ghost, and I say this in a podcast, is when you are all texting and messaging each other inside of an app. Okay. Hygiene. Like, tell me more. What did you see? Unloaded on me about how terrible things. Yes, negativity. It gets old, man. People are not looking for that. Actually, my client the other day, I got him a phone number off Hinge, and I always say you gotta call someone before you go on the date. And he said, Katy, she talked terribly about her daughter, terribly about her ex. He's like, I didn't even want to date with her. Oh my gosh, you guys are just crushing this here. Okay, hygiene, unloaded about one, how terrible, treating badly the staff, right? I mean, those are even first date kind of things. The staff, what else? I'm writing these down. He said he wasn't ready for a relationship, but he went to Vegas with a girl for New Year's and now pays for her trips. What does that mean? That means he went on seeking arrangements. What do you mean? What does that mean? That's what that means. So because he's paying for her trips doesn't mean he has a relationship with her. He has a mutually beneficial slight contract with her. And she's winning and he's winning. And that's how they see that, because they're both shallow and shallow deserve shallow. So you got to let it go. He's an 80%er. She's an 80%er. It's their season in life. Let it go. It's not what you're looking for. So don't take it personally. Speaking poorly of others. Yep. Middle of the night texting. Ooh, like when they like a drunk text. Is that like a turnoff? Is that kind of like a, yeah. It's so funny how even with my husband, if he, he was at a work party and I could tell he was a little drunk, I was like, this is not cool. Like, what are you, 12? But then there's times that I drink a little too much and I do that. But it was funny how I would kind of have a double mindset on that. Like, well, I kind of can, but he shouldn't. But yeah, found out they don't floss. Okay. Don't floss. Buy them some flossies. Like, I have them in my car at all times. They don't floss. Yes. What else is an ish? Funk in Beverly Hills has an awesome rooftop bar. Yes, I need to go there. Yeah, when I'm I love it. When I'm back in LA and hopefully soon, let's do that. Let's go to Funk. I've heard it's great. Let's see what else. Vulgar language. Oof, that's interesting. I kind of drop F-bombs, and it's funny. I found guys like it when I drop the F-bomb. They're like, oh, Katy got a little, hard mouth. And I'm like, yeah, it's not my intention. But sometimes when I get heated about something or political or like frustrated with dating, for you guys, I drop some F-bombs. I do. What else? Negativity. X factor on the first date. Okay. Asking about your past relationships, your ex. No bueno on the first date. It's not even their business. But hey, look, I actually was old school. Like, I actually liked it. I wouldn't mind if the guy told me all of his stuff, because then I could make a better informed decision faster. So I didn't take it too much. No ex talk first 3 dates. I know, but it kind of happens too at the same time. I feel like it's fine to talk about an ex, but not get triggered or yeah. I mean, we all have pasts. We got to talk about something. Again, if a guy talked about his ex, I was like, okay, gives me intel, I can still see, he could tell me that his ex wasn't great. Of course, I know 3 truths to every story, his side, her side, and the truth. So I just take his with a grain of salt, and then I think of her perspective, and I can probably see a different version. Yeah, know what the situation is. I actually like it too. Yeah. I think that when we occasionally cuss because it's out of character and we're, yeah. Again, that's me. I'm pretty feminine, but I'll be like, what the, said our relationship was more than a booty call, but never took me out, and I only met at his place. Player. I don't know, girl, you need some serious, yeah, he's a player. Okay. Those are common sense questions, but common sense is not so common anymore. They wouldn't like it if we always cuss. My husband doesn't like it when I start to cuss. I cuss when I'm angry, and he'll be like, language. And I'm like, I don't want to change. But we have a saying that church taught us, and I think it's great. It's, thank you so much for correcting me. You're helping me become a better person. So actually, my husband and I say that to each other, not always happily, but we're like, thank you so much for correcting me. You're helping me become a better person. And when you are reminded of that, and your loved one wants to make you a better person, right? So, okay, so ick factors. Any questions about dating matchmaking? Please know too that if you're not a paying client, I'll only reach out to you if I think one of our clients is interested. I chatted with a girl in Boise, Idaho yesterday. We happen to have a new client up there. And she's like, "You've never called me before." I said, "I got to be honest. No man is looking for a woman in Boise, Idaho. They're just not. My clients are, they're looking for typically women in certain regions. And so you don't take it personally, but right now I actually have one here. So let's get your better pictures and give me some better like bio here." I had to ask her to kind of upload new photos and everything else. So if a date invites her friend to the date and she begins to question and almost interview you, well, it is what it is. So answer wisely. I will say thank you after I calm down. I'm 29. What's a good age gap limit? That's a good question because it is different. They say that men, well, young men are usually 5 years behind in maturation and in the EQ, the EI emotionally. So I would definitely say try to date your age plus 5. I know some of these people want like the 10-year gap when you're at 29. I don't think it's a good idea. I think generationally, you're actually in different generations at that point. When you're my age, I think it's fine. We're dating for energy. Yes, only 5. I'd only go down 2 years, especially ladies. Ladies, I would say go up 5. I know some of you 33-year-olds want to date a 22 woman. It's like, she's a girl. She's a girl. She hasn't done life. And that sounds a little controlling to me. So if you're 29, go up to 35. I think that's fair. But what you're really looking for is someone who is equally established as you, focused as you, and also wants the same things as you. So I know a lot of you are looking for a number. You're looking for a location. It's ridiculous. Those are preferences. I have a client right now. He is convinced I'm going to find him this perfect girl. And his funnel gets smaller and smaller every time I talk to him. At first, he was open, like, okay, I'll date all of LA, because he's way over here, And I'm like, well, way over here doesn't have a lot of girls that you're looking for because you want this, 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 this. That's fine. You can give me a smaller funnel, but you know what that'll bring you? Less dates. And now he doesn't want anybody who is not like, 20 minutes away. So I got him a great date, all part of the funnel. And then she lives in LA. And he didn't want to drive to her. So he said, well, she can meet me halfway at Mastro's. I go, that's great. That's a great restaurant, but let me see if she's open to meeting you halfway. And she literally DM'd me or texted me back and was like, I find that a little rude. And I mean, I just choked asking her to meet him halfway. It was like, ugh, girl, come on, guys. Like, do you want your next door neighbor or do you want a woman that you want? Like, some of you are so stuck and you're not open to moving, to driving, to not looking at the age number. I mean, it's a number. Who cares? I can't say this enough because it's about someone's energy. It's about their productivity. It's about, especially in the older ages. I have a client, he's 69. He is good looking. He is high energy. He's super healthy. Who cares? Who cares? Well, Katie's going to get old. Well, so are you, and you're going to be old and single. So if you're young, this is where I'm talking. You need to get really focused, and coming from a divorced woman, get really focused on your standards list. Talk about character, talk about core values, talk about where they want to go in life. That is what is important. And I'll tell you, people who are unsuccessful only stick to their preferences. And there's plenty of matchmakers out there who are preaching and, up in celebrity status. And it's like, girl, how are you still single? Because all they're looking for is their preferences. He has to be tall. He has to be rich. He has to be this age. No. He has to adore you, and he has to be a good man. Okay, not a perfect man and not the nice guy, the good man. So that is my serious advice. Like, am I right? I'm right. I know I'm right because I'm living it. I picked a good man. As a matter of fact, it was so cute. His daughter says to me last night, she's like, yeah, I don't know how my dad scored you because like, I always tell people you're like my hot stepmom. And I think, okay, I get hot when I need to be hot, but this is my normal. This is what I love. You guys know that this is my normal. And this is what my husband sees most of the time. Sometimes a little worse, sometimes a little better, but he loves this. And I don't have to be hot for him. And yeah, I mean, I like to think I always, and women would say this, like, we should be the hotter of the two. Am I right? We want to be the hotter of the two. So if you want to go date the hot guy, good luck with that, ladies. Um, Character and values over everything. The world's a mess because they're worried about stupid shit. Like, what age? Who cares? Who cares what age? That this is where I'm saying, like, we've got to change the Instagram messaging. We got to change the whole queen mentality. Like, duh, like, come on now. Like, you're not even a queen. Like, let's take a minute here and like stop talking like, oh, I deserve. I'm doing a whole podcast on that coming up. Okay. Yes, the man, he has to adore you. Do you agree that men know right away? Yes, absolutely. Men know right away. Okay. 3 seconds, men know if they could like date you and how that dating might go. Whether they want to just, you, or if they'd actually long-term date you for bigger things. So yes, I do believe that. And women take a little bit of time. It takes a minute. And some of these guys, most of these guys are nervous on dates, or they're confused because the new girl, does she want me to pull out her chair? Does she not? Is she going to yell at me? Like, poor guys. Sometimes I'm sad. Humble Katie's not showing her legs. No, not showing my legs today. I've been doing my leg exercises though. I didn't do dry January. I completely failed that. But I have been doing my leg weights, so that's good. Okay, you guys are great. Did you meet me, babe, in person? I love it. Were you at Demi's event? Abs. What is the double? Well, if we're gonna have a dating with Katy trip, we gotta have abs. Okay. You guys know I love you. I care about you. I'm praying for you. I'm here to help. If you have questions, DM me. If you have a podcast idea, let me know. Make sure you subscribe to all that fun stuff so you can be getting them weekly. And then, yeah, I still have things I didn't even go over yet today, but I got to go start writing my book. So love you guys. Have a great weekend. And you know what? Not only go on a first date, get a second date and then tell me about it. All right, you guys. Mwah. Talk to you later. Bye. Woo. Thanks, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.